going on, guys? Today we're talking about the best-selling cards under $5 or less. This is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Penny Stock Market Watch. Out the gate, Monstrous Revenge IP is making her way up onto the charts. What's interesting about IP Masquerena, all versions are at least $2 or more. I think all versions are great buys. Now, obviously, one of the versions is not a penny stock. That's the original version, the Chaos Impact. Prismatic Secret Rare is pretty solid. I have, personally, the Premium Gold version. I think eventually this will overtake that. I have just seen, historically speaking, gold rares versus secret rares. Like, if we'll go back, right? So, if we go back a couple of clicks and we come down here, we can find secret rares, right? And then we can also find gold rares, and it's gonna be a little different because obviously I have the filter under $5 or less. But if we go to high to low, most of them are gonna be secret rares, right? And the reason that's relevant is because that's literally what we're talking about right now. Like, this is the best-selling. Oh, I guess Grapha. Look at that. That's from the original. Yeah, that's like, that was like one of the first gold series too. And it's Grapha, and Dark World's a relatively solid strategy, right? But if we go back, just to regular market watch, or regular penny stock market watch, that's why I say that the secret rare will overtake the gold rare. Because just historically speaking, I personally like gold rares a lot, and I've mentioned that almost as much as I've mentioned spend your money how you feel on this channel. Like, I mention it all the time because I really do love gold rares. I really feel like they're undervalued. And I don't really know if there is a deck that's like all of the cards are gold rare. I know Burning Abyss used to be. There's probably others as well. But I would love a deck like that. I'll probably just build one just for fun. But getting back to IP, this one's a really fantastic buy. The issue is, obviously, there's more listings than there are for that one than there is for anything else. I do think it will eventually overtake the Premium Gold. I think both versions are great buys. I think IP just got a reprint. I don't see it getting a reprint anytime soon. Could very easily have $5 across the board. Because even though every deck that runs it only runs one, I don't think Sprite's going to get hit that hard. It hasn't really seemed like it would. And so at the end of the day, like, the value on Link 2s are just always going to be really solid. Like, solid Link 2s, right? Just because of the existence of Sprite. As we move forward, still more Monstrous Revenge. It's a really good set for budget players. There's a lot of really solid reprints. Evenly Matched is about to go over the $5 mark. We're about to no longer see this card. I've talked about the Beware of Trap Trick Structure deck a good amount though on this channel, so I didn't want to talk about it again. Now as we look to this next page, this is a card I was very curious about because it has a double summon. It has a Pot of Greed, every draw phase, which is obviously the bigger thing, but you can't activate hand traps, right? So I was very curious to see what this card's life would look like, and hasn't been the best. It is in the top 50 best-selling cards under $5, and I think it's just because people want to see what they can do with this, right? I mean, you got a couple of Runic decks that were running it last month, because it's a good card, right? It's a really good card if you can play around this, and the monster effects and hands are just so relevant. I think that's what's keeping this card down. But if a bannerless comes out again and Runic doesn't get hit that hard, or Runic becomes the best deck, we could see time tiering Morganite. It's that kind of card where, like, it's just waiting in the wings for a really good archetype to make it broken, right? It's waiting on the sidelines for a card to make us go. Because another card that was very similar, actually, because I've been playing the game for that long, I remember when this card came out, nobody thought this card was going to be very good in Flames of Destruction, right? And you look at it and you go, if you have no spells or traps, draw 2 cards, but you can't activate spells and traps except itself. And then shuffle and draw. That's not very good. And then all of a sudden, there was like, I think it was like a 60 card like PK Fire deck or something. I don't remember the exact deck that got this card limited. But all of a sudden, it was just broken. And I could very well see this happening for this card as well. Now, obviously, if we go over to Seka's Light, obviously it's 22 cents, right? And so maybe we don't want to invest, right? But the reason why Seka's Light is 22 cents is because 1, it's at 1. 2, there's 3 printings of it. So this could very easily be the $7 price mark that Gigabytes Cafe is selling it for. Because there's a lot of one-ofs on the first page. In fact, if we go to the second page, this person's Card Crack is selling 2 of them at $4. So there's a lot of like one-ofs. And the reason why that's relevant is because when you see something like 142 listings, that might make you be a little afraid, right? But if none of the 142 listings have like 10 or 20, or I mean that one, there was one like that I just saw with 5, like that's not that much. It would be very easy for someone to swoop in, I don't know, spend $400, buy 100 copies of this, and completely flip the market on this card, because there really aren't a lot of copies of this card on the market. And I think like cards like that have a lot of potential. So this is sort of a lottery ticket type card. I would classify it as that. Let's take a look at this. I don't know. Have I ever like featured? Have I talked about Sun Avalon on this channel before? I don't think so. Without sounding redundant, I did just want to say like dragons, machines, insects, plants, right? They're these sort of like combo decks, right? And when we look at the history of the game, plant actually has been relatively solid. Like just like plant combo has almost always been a deck, right? You have cards like Spore, Lone Fire Blossom, Magical Fertilizer. Those are your older cards, right? And then you have this Sun Avalon, Rika archetypes. Those are the newer archetypes. I mean, look at just this from 5 days ago at the European WCQ. Rika Sun Avalon, right? I mean, also too, Therion, also has a plant. There's the Lone Fire. Pancratops is in there. That's fun. So a Small World can be ran in this as well. So this sort of like plant combo thing has always existed. There's a lot of different things you can do. I mean, look at this. Naturio is like, go back. Naturio Rose Whip, Your opponent can only activate 1 spell or trap per turn. Like, that's really good against Labyrinth. Feels like it's okay against Labyrinth, right? So, here's another one, right? So, as far as this card, I think it is a relatively solid buy. You do start to wonder, though, has Sun Avalon hit its peak? Is there any potential for the deck to get any better? I don't know. But it's because it's not from a core set. I don't know if it's going to be reprinted in the Megatons, right? I could see some random plant archetype getting support in like or even just Sun Avalon getting support, and like there being a bunch of reprints, kind of like Volcanics support's coming out soon, and like a lot of what's in that set is just reprints, right? So I could see Sun Avalon doing that too, but it's a relatively newer, I mean, I guess it's the first Ghost of the Past, not the second, so I would be on the lookout for a reprint, but who knows? I was just talking about Runic, surviving the ban list. If Sun Avalon doesn't get down the ban list, it could sneak its way up, especially if it's already winning WCQs, right? It could sneak its way up to the top. I haven't looked at this in a hot second. 380. Why is it 380? Am I confused? Am I missing something? I guess that's a case. I was already on best selling. I'm trying to figure out why the set is so expensive. $40 for this set, $11 for a pack. I think it's just because they're chase cards. Because the Cubic stuff is stupid cheap. Cubic is one of the best budget decks in the entire game. Like when we're talking like budget to quality of deck ratio, right? Cubic is really, really high. But getting back to the card that brought us here, why is this card moving? Did it just hit a valley? Could have just hit a valley, I guess. And people were like, oh, it's not supposed to be that low. I guess. I'm not sure. When it comes to this stuff, especially like just literally we can just go reopen this pack. Like when it comes to this stuff, it's going to do a relatively good job of maintaining its value because people just love Dark Magician and Blue Eyes and anime decks and slower Yu-Gi-Oh! And bad cards. Like, people do. They do it, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For fun. Wild of a concept as that sounds, right? And I know we talk a lot on the market watches about what's meta, what's not meta, but the market isn't just what's meta. Like, the best cards are the most expensive usually, but it's also like what people are willing to buy. And sometimes Slifer, the secret rare from the movie pack, Slifer the Sky Dragon, ends up being really big. I don't know if there was an announcement for Egyptian God support. Egyptian Gods will never be a good deck because, like, those cards have been out for decades and it's never been a good deck. So, I don't know. Spend your money how you feel. Let's actually look at all of them. Let's just do it. Let's just go for all of the Egyptian Gods. Because I'm assuming the Egyptian Gods are penny stocks. Okay, so no. There's some relatively expensive Slifers. It's a little weird because there's like boxes and structure decks, but this is an interesting. I don't like this art personally, but alternate arts, like look at the top 3 best selling. The one that just came out, alternate arts. Right? This is an alternate art as well. But it's also pretty high on the best selling because there's like a bunch of pages of this card. So we also have our boy. That is, it's not ringed. It is definitely winged. A winged dragon of Ra. We're not talking about sphere mode though, because sphere mode actually sees play. This seems to be the more expensive one. Shonen Jump promo. This art is just disgusting. I think that's why people don't like it. I like this art a lot though. Yeah, this art just is not the move. Where is the because I'm assuming there's a secret rare from the mega pack as well. Right, I don't remember seeing it. Am I cuckoo? Am I crazy? I don't. So I'm not sure what's so special about Slifer, that specific version. Maybe it's just like what printings that Winged Dragon of Ra has. That's why Slifer from the movie pack is so cool. I'm not sure because I would assume this pack has it has Obelisk. I'd assume it has the Winged Dragon of Ra too, because I don't know why it wouldn't have 2 of them and not all 3. I don't know if I've ever seen a set with just one of them. Like, I think even the starter decks that was like Obelisk versus Slifer had all 3 of them in it in some extent. Is there no... Oh, he's not in here. I see. Okay. Learn something new every day. I was not aware that was a thing. All right, let's check the last one, though. This is actually my favorite. Mostly because... Well, I like Kaiba. I don't know how to spell it, obviously, but I like Kaiba. But also... Oh, Bell-esque. Okay. But also, it has the best effect of all of them. Slifer's effect is interesting. You can definitely do some cool things with Slifer's effect, but Obelisk has the best effect. Um, yeah, this is still relatively cheap as well. I think this is. I think it's like. I think Slifer is the cheapest. That's interesting. Like the Blu-ray DVD promos aren't more expensive though, because it feels like they should have been more complicated to get. But that's just where we're at with the Egyptian gods. Yeah, only here at the Penny Stock Market Watch will you get someone talking about the Egyptian god cards for an extensive period of time. So make sure you guys subscribe for more of that as we move forward. This is crazy value at 40 cents. I wish there was more Madolce stuff in there. But look at the rest of tiramisu's. Like the next cheapest tiramisu, like they all went down because of the reprint. This one, $8. Near mint on limbs. This one, Astro Pack, $4. Near mint on limbs. Gold bling, which that one looks really good. I know I said I just like gold rares, but that one looks really, really cool. $3, $3.50 near mint first eds. But this is literally under $1. I wonder if anybody has more than 3 listings too, or 3 cards available. So the Turtle Rock Gaming is selling 20 for 49 cents a pop. Now, if we went, I have to do this. I really should just do this before the videos, but it's fine. It's good to remember what we were talking about in previous videos. Dimensional Fissure, you don't belong in here. So you could spend $10 and buy this out from Turtle Rock Gaming, I think was their name. Yes, you can buy it out. Cause I earned free shipping, right? Because it was over $5, and then it becomes $1. And so you just have 20 copies of this card at $1. That's $11 extra dollars. It doesn't seem like a lot, right? But especially if we're able to scale that, or if you're just able to wait, what I would do, and I'm probably going to do this, I'm gonna be honest, you're probably gonna look at Turtle Rock Gaming and look for these and be like, where do they go? What I am probably gonna do, but you guys can do this type of thing too with different cards, is like buy this, wait for it to hit $1, sell 10, get my money back, and just see where the other ones go. See if they get to 3, see if they get to 4, see if they get, because this deck has been around for quite some time. And so I don't really see it going anywhere. I've also always wanted to build the deck too. So if I could just slowly but surely make it happen, I would love that. And it always randomly pops its way back into the meta because this is a really just generically good card. And I don't think it'll ever get power crept. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to power creep that card. That's just absolutely insane what it's capable of doing. Is this gone? Did we lose it? Happy Trails. Yep. This is no longer a penny stock. This is 5 on the dot. Yeah. I will probably end up talking about this card on the regular market watch because I assume if it's one of the best selling under 5, it'll be. I don't know if it's considered under 5 still though. I don't know. I think this is a good buy at $5. Especially if you can get it for under $5, right? If you can get this as a technically penny stocks are under $5, right? If you can get it as a penny stock, I would pull the trigger because, like I was just talking about, plan is really good, and this card is really, really good. It sends a plant, adds the Therion field spell. I believe the Therion field spell searches Regulus. I believe that's the combo, right? If we go, I wonder if the field spell's down here. Yeah. We can talk about this card, I guess, a little bit because these might get reprinted because it's Dimension Force. I have to double check to see what packs are going to be in the tins. But like I always say, they can't reprint everything. And this is the original version. And this card in particular feels like it's always going to be relatively good because it searches Regulus. If Regulus gets banned, this card will obviously lose its value. If this card gets like a bunch of reprints, it'll obviously lose its value. But neither of those is the case right now. So I would definitely be on the lookout for cheap Therion stuff. But let me know what you guys think. What are the best selling cards under $5 less that you were looking for? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys click that like button to show your support for the channel. Subscribe for more content. But most importantly of all, have a good day.